Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Citizens, fellow Americans, members of the America First Before Anybody Else party. My name is Donald Drexler, but you already knew that, since it's signed on the back of every one of those blank checks I handed out before the event. Now, before we start, I'd like to give my thanks to our entertainment for the evening, that great 60s band, the Braxton Hicks Contraction, everybody. Let's hear it for them. Weren't they great? No, don't worry, I know what some of you are thinking. It's been 40 years, though. Braxton's one of us now. Word of advice, though, don't stand too close or make eye contact. It's a little, ooh, you know. Oh, and please feel free to fill up on the refreshments back there. Mrs. Dalrymple provided the lovely crumb cake. She bought them herself. Well, she sent her servant Consuela out to get them, but I'm told that she reimbursed her for almost half. Oh, and by the way, we are using a different vendor for the coffee this time. I realized that the stuff in the bowls at the last event wasn't sugar. But you can rest assured, not that anyone who put that in their coffee has been sleeping since then, that my office is willing to pay for the nerve damage and the dental work, pending a 6 to 8 month waiting period. So, I am so glad that you could all join me again. And in spite of the inconvenience of having to hold this event here in the 16th sub-basement of the Kleenex building, who knew that restraining orders could be enforced vertically, huh? The turnout tonight, very gratifying. And my fellow, true, genuine, real Americans, the last time I spoke to you, I was simply an up-and-coming tyro, a candidate. Tonight, I stand before you as the duly and absolutely non-fraudulently elected representative from the great state that wishes to remain anonymous at this time. All of you here did your part to get me elected. Some of you a few more times than others. And I pledge not to let you down to the best of your knowledge. And I thank you for supporting our reading of the Constitution on the House floor the other week. I know we left some of the trickier parts out, you know, the stuff about slavery, the 18th Amendment, all that rubbish about women's suffrage. And we replaced them with excerpts from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But I think even so, we underscored the importance of living life in the true American way, just as the founders that we agree with intended. Now we are on the verge of making sweeping changes to our government. I myself recently introduced a bill that will fully defund pubic radio. Not only does that whole notion offend me, but I don't even see how that would work. And I don't want to know. So I hope you'll join me. You remember my slogan, let's shave off all the... What? Typo? Oh, well, maybe I won't do that then. And I think all of you know how bullish I am on the whole immigration issue. And we are moving forward in our proposal to build a wall at the border of our country and keep those Canadians out. The only curling I want to see is the curling of real Americans' lips when they speak of those toque-wearing no accounts with the contempt they deserve. I know, those frostbacks, they're a tricky bunch. Streaming across the border by the tens of dozens, looking to take advantage of our expensive health care, our low alcohol content beer, and our improvisational theater troops. But we are doing everything we can to stop them. You know, they're pretty clever at blending in. Some of them even look like us, only thinner and with brighter eyes. But we have our ways to ferret them out. We have enlisted a team of former census workers, may as well get them to do something worthwhile, to go door to door and sniff out the menace from the north by asking 4 basic questions. Number 1, isn't American hockey the greatest in the world? Number 2, would you mind pronouncing the word about for me? Number 3, Just how many April wine albums do you have in your collection? Number 4. Your name wouldn't be Gordon, would it? Mark my words, we will push them back and build a wall that will keep us in our respective countries. And lest you think this constitutes prejudice or cruelty, I've spoken to several Canadians and they're okay with it. All right. Now I think it behooves me. I don't think I really can stand before you today and not address the 400-pound gorilla in the room. Mongo, calm down. Don't hurt these people or I'll use the cattle prod again. And don't throw your feces onto their plates. Okay, Mongo? Okay. What? Yes, I let my prescription run out. What does that have to do with anything? Look, we'll talk about this later. Sorry. I think while I'm here, I think I feel, and I think I need to talk to you about an issue of extreme seriousness, something that's been on all of our minds over the past week. Recent events have shaken the very core of this great country to its foundations, and vice versa. We have been visited by tragedy, but through it all, we should never forget who the real victim is. Me. Over the last few days, we have heard nothing but the finger of blame pointed straight at me and those like me, with a little face drawn in pen on the tip, and a little high-pitched voice saying the most vile imprecations. They say we inspire violence. I say that's ridiculous. Everyone who knows me knows how opposed to violence I am. Wasn't it me who co-founded the Let's Beat the Crap Out of Violence campaign? As far as anybody knows, it was. Of course, my sympathy goes out to my esteemed opponent, Herc Gehenna, who was still recovering from the injuries received when a mob, well, some may call it a mob, I just call it a consortium of concerned citizens, set upon him outside his dry cleaners and bludgeoned him senseless with pool cues. Now I take the greatest umbrage at those in the so-called news media who have bald-facedly, shamelessly claimed that my alleged incendiary campaign rhetoric led directly to this near tragedy. This makes me angry. First of all, I don't even know what 2 of those words mean. Secondly, you know, I think you need to be pretty seriously biased to misinterpret what I and my campaign have said as being anything like that, whatever that might be. These talking fatheads, patent pending, have even gone so far as to claim nefarious motives behind my campaign song. You remember, let's pummel the man with sticks. Come on, people. Haven't you ever heard of a metaphor? I have, and I even looked up the definition online. I mean, think about it. Who is the man? The man is politics as usual. And what is pummeling him with sticks? All that means is just a colorful way to say, let the will of the people reign. See? And those of you who criticized the video of the song, which showed a man who happened to look exactly like my opponent, beaten with heavy doweling while coming out of a laundromat, well, come on, you'd have to have a lot of imagination to take that literally. It's just that if you personify the concept of politics as usual, it just happens to be 5'9½", with a receding hairline, a salt and pepper mustache, and a 3/8" mole in his right cheekbone, like my opponent. That's just science. And to claim that I or my campaign is responsible in any way for what happened, well, my God, that's just blood libel of the worst kind. Okay, I know, yes, I know. Some people have gotten in trouble for using that term lately, but it's not the whole Jew thing I'm talking about. No, it's the other blood libel. The one where Presbyterians are accused of killing non-Presbyterian children and using their blood to make Ritz crackers. I'll tell you something, my friends. I think I'm probably against that. Anyway, they're just words. They don't inspire actions. And I wish you tree-hugging, lefty, socialist, Nazi child pornographers out there wouldn't go around saying that, because, you know, one of us might get hurt because of that. I have nothing to apologize for. All right, well, maybe that's not entirely true. I feel some regret about driving that forklift into the school bus, you know, after last week's wine and Everclear tasting party back in D.C. But, you know, even that cloud has a silver lining. Oh, that's a good expression. I should write that down. Since that party, we have raised over $20,000 to one of our nation's most important charities, Guns for Toddlers. It's not what it sounds like. There are several places across the country, 26 of them now, where you can go and bring an automatic weapon, and in exchange, you get a 3-year-old child. And vice versa. Well, it looks like I'm just about out of time. I'm due over at Aunt Coulter's house in about half an hour, and you know, if I'm late, she breaks out the ball gag, so. But I stand before you today to say one thing to all of you here tonight, and I mean this with all the passion and sincerity in my heart. Make sure you endorse those checks correctly and pass them up forward before you leave. Thank you. My name is Donald Drexler, and I'm not going anywhere!
Thank you.